Welcome to part 5 of the Seasons series. Today we're talking about special seasons. And whenever I say special seasons, I mean any season outside of the basic single, married with kids, or empty nester season. Let's get started. Please subscribe to stay up to date in this series and to get our other videos on money, minimalism, our travel journey around the world. We publish a new video every week. Special seasons are very different from each other, but the main thing they have in common is that something rare or unexpected has come into your life. And most of the time, you have to make this thing that's come into your life your number one priority, whether you want to or not. And often you're just focusing on getting through this season. So let's talk about all the different seasons. Whether we're talking about moving out of your hometown, divorce, remarriage, grieving a loss, or awaiting legal results, you will have to put most of your attention towards this season. So focus on getting through, often as quickly as you can, but sometimes that's not an option. That being said, in every season, appreciate the days. You can always appreciate what you have. Just like in the New Testament, when Paul was very appreciative and very grateful and thankful while he was in prison, you can always appreciate what you do have, regardless of what you don't have or what you're going through. So don't get so caught up on counting the days and waiting for something to be over. Appreciate the days you're in while still getting through the season you're in, even if it's a difficult one. And just know that I don't have a whole lot of experience personally in a lot of these seasons. I have done the research, I have talked to the people who do have the experience, but I'm not trying to come off like an expert in any of these seasons. They're all difficult, but you can get through all of them because plenty of people have before you. So let's talk about a few seasons that change your life. A special needs child, terminal illness, or losing a child. So what do these three have in common? They all severely alter your life, often for the rest of your life, and they're all unexpected. And when we're talking terminal illness, whether it applies to you, your spouse, or a family member, it can affect you in a different way. So first, let's talk about a special needs child. My wife has a heart for people, especially children with special needs. And with God working the way that He does in our life, it wouldn't surprise me if at some point He entrusted one of His special needs children to us. But for now, we haven't had direct experience with this. The most important part of dealing with any special needs child, or an ill parent, or anyone who needs a lot of attention, is to take it day by day. The people I know who have a special needs child, or a severely ill parent that they're taking care of, and I know plenty of people who have been in this situation, have all said that you have to take it day by day. You can't see it as a lifelong thing. You can't think of things like, I have to do this or that for the next 10 years or 20 years or however many years. You have to think about, can I do this today? Am I able to do this today? Am I able to take care of this child today, or to take care of my parent today? And the answer is always going to be yes. But you need to take it day by day and stop looking at the bigger picture when it comes to this. Thinking day by day will help you to appreciate your time with them, and it will show you that you can get through it. Reach out to your friends and family for support in these times. They often come in large numbers whenever you need help like this, if you do feel like you need help, and maybe you don't. There's also plenty of organizations and churches out there that can help you. You can do it on your own, but it takes a village to raise a child in the first place, so of course to raise a special needs child, I would say it takes a village. Number 2, terminal illness. I'm talking about terminal illness under your roof. I'm not talking about a sick parent or someone who lives in a different location. I'm talking about someone who lives with you and are terminally ill, whether it be a parent or even a spouse, or even a child, which we'll talk more about in the next point. So you should give this person the fullest life imaginable. The Make-A-Wish Foundation is known for this, but you can take that same mindset into how you live life daily for this person. Let them live out their final years doing everything they've wanted to do. And you don't know how many years they have. I know plenty of people who were given 1 year or 2 years to live and live 20, 30, or 40 years beyond that. That's another reason why this is a day-by-day thing. But it's not about how long you live, it's about how you live while you're here. And ultimately, it's about who you live for. Help them to work on their relationship with Jesus and their own salvation. And now possibly the toughest one, number 3, losing a child. I couldn't imagine going through this, and if you are going through this, I give you my most sincere condolences. I am sorry for your loss, and the only positive thing I can really say about it is that when you lose a child, especially before the age of accountability, that is a free ticket into heaven for that child. But that doesn't make it any easier for you while you're still here. You are becoming an extremely strong person emotionally, because you really have no choice. That's how it happens. And even though this season is going to be the hardest season of your life, and it's probably going to continue as a season for the rest of your life, just know that this is going to be your largest season of growth. Personally, I have to turn to God here. If it were to happen to me, I would pray my heart out. I would pray daily for hours going through this. I would lean on God to lead me each day through recovery, whatever that may mean, even if it never means full recovery, which I'm sure it won't. It's not something that you ever get over, of course. Some close friends of ours recently lost a child who was a young adult. It's different when you lose a baby, when you lose a toddler, when you lose a teen, when you lose a young adult. They're all tough in their own way, but their spiritual growth through this has been inspiring to countless people. And if nothing else, just know that you will be with them again in heaven to get you through this time. And while I don't believe that everything happens for a reason, I believe we live in a fallen world. I'm not going to say that the most grotesque things in history happen for a reason, but I do believe that God can bring good out of anything. We live in a fallen world with principalities and the powers of evil fully at work. Much is the work of Satan in this world, but God has a way to bring good out of the grim. But one of the most important things to know in this season of life is that it's okay to be sad. It's okay to grieve. It's okay to cry. I'm not a psychiatrist or a medical doctor, and I'm not giving any sort of medical advice, of course, but you shouldn't automatically have to turn to antidepressants. It's a time of life whenever you should be sad. If you have to turn to antidepressants, that's your thing. I'm not saying that that's wrong, but just know that you are supposed to be sad in this time. It's a really tough time that you're going through. Sadness, crying, mourning, grieving, these are all things that are a natural part of the healing process. Like I said, I'm not against antidepressants. I'm just saying allow yourself time to grieve properly without chemicals, if you can. Turning to medication immediately can hinder the natural healing process. And if you are going through this right now, I am going to put an article in the description below that you should read. I think it's a really great article from someone who's been there to help you through this time. I'll also put a forum below, some resources that you can reach out to for other people who are going through this. And finally, I'm no expert, as I keep reiterating in this video, but definitely comment below or go to freedomsprout.com and go to the contact page and send me a direct email and reach out, and I would love to help you in any way that I can. I would do everything I can to give you my full support during your time of sorrow. So to wrap up this series, let's talk about season-tailored advice in general. The most important part of all of this season-tailored advice is to take advice based on the season you're in. For example, I listen to a lot of podcasts and I love podcasts, but it does seem like most podcasts are done by young, single men and women. And you might not be able to take all of the advice they're giving you in the way that you should live and the things that you can do for self-improvement if you're not in that single season. Don't expect that you should be able to, because you shouldn't be able to. But you also shouldn't use your season as an excuse. You can almost always do more than you think you can do. But of course, don't try to do more than you know you should do. So take the advice, funnel it through the season you're in, and see what you can implement. If you're not sure exactly how to do that, comment below and we'll talk about it. And as far as other people are concerned, you never know what season they're in. That's why we should always be Christ-like in the way that we treat others. Because oftentimes, someone could be in a season of depression masked by a seemingly happy family life. We only know what we see when it comes to other people, and that's typically about 1% of what that person is actually going through. Just be kind. It's that simple. You were kind enough to watch this entire video series all the way through, or at least this video, and I appreciate that. See? You're already doing it. God bless you. Please subscribe for more videos on money, minimalism, our travel journey around the world. This is the end of this series, but check out our other videos as well. If you're interested in raising intentional children, check out my book, Intentional Children. I'll put a link to that below. It's everything you need to know about kids when it comes to money and mindset. That is all for today. That is all for this series. But as always, I will see you next week.